Today's a day for cookies.
Danielle, I have a spice for coffee.
Why don't we put it in our cookies?
Let's go.
Let's go. We're making a simple sugar cookie recipe.
Yeah, and we have a really nice upgrade by adding our new coffee spice blend.
You can add these spices individually: ginger, cinnamon, clove, and cardamom.
Yes, but this spice blend already has a really good ratio of all 4 ingredients, and you can add it to your coffee, your cookies, your cakes.
Your whipped cream.
Oh,
So yum.
oh yeah. Before you start making cookies, you want to make sure that your butter and eggs are room temperature. So take it out about half hour before you start making the recipe.
One of the most important steps to cookie making is blending your butter and sugar. This is 1.5 sticks of butter and 3/4 cup of sugar. And you want to blend it until it's like a paste and there's no chunks and it's nice and smooth. This is great to make with kids. They get to do all this work. There we go.
A quick tip, if you forgot to take your butter out in time, just put a pot with boiling water and a little bowl on top of it. Keep it on the counter for just about 10 minutes and your butter will become room temperature.
Which makes it a lot easier to blend by hand.
Okay, so this is the bowl of our wet ingredients, and soon we're gonna start mixing all the dry ingredients separately. So now,
We're gonna finish with the wet ingredients, which is the eggs and the vanilla extract.
okay, so we have 1 egg, which I always like to break separately, so we make sure there are no shells in our bowl.
I'm gonna beat the egg a little bit.
Yeah, that way you make sure that it goes in evenly with the rest of the ingredients. And the last thing is,
2 teaspoons vanilla extract. I love the smell of that.
yeah, guys, I really recommend you get a really nice quality vanilla extract and don't use vanilla, what's it called, imitation.
Get the real stuff.
It's not the same thing. It does not taste the same, and it's worth the extra money that it costs.
But you don't need a lot, so you can buy a small bottle. It's a little bit more money, but it's worth it. It really elevates anything you use it in. I'm gonna give this a quick mix together. If there's any little chunks left over, just wanna mush them up.
It looks like it's separating a little bit, but it really is not.
We're using our hands. If we were using a KitchenAid, it would be a lot more integrated.
But once we add the dry ingredients, everything will even out. So just don't worry about it. The way it looks now is totally fine.
And we're good to go.
Okay.
Simple and quick.
We transfer the wet ingredients into a bigger bowl because we are going to add the dry ingredients to that bowl later. So you want to make sure that bowl is big enough. I think a better choice would have been
To start with the bigger bowl. So now we want to add the dry ingredients.
in a separate bowl. We have 2.25 cups of
All-purpose flour.
1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1/4 teaspoon of salt.
And we're gonna add 3 teaspoons or 1 tablespoon of our coffee spice blend.
Yes.
Bring it on.
You're gonna mix all the dry ingredients together and then just add everything into your wet ingredient bowl. We preheated our oven to 350°F, and now we're just gonna form our cookies.
Yeah, put them on a baking tray with some parchment paper, and they take about 10 to 15 minutes. You can use an ice cream scoop, a cookie scoop, but if you don't have any of those, good old spoon will do.
Yeah.
Kind of fill it up, drop it on. Kind of want to get them the same size so they cook at the same time. That one in the middle is a little small
Yeah, otherwise the smaller cookies will be a little bit too dry.
and or burnt.
And remember that the size of the cookie will also affect how long you're gonna bake it. So just take that into account as you're forming your cookies.
Something else you need to think about is don't place your cookies too close to each other because they are going to spread out a little bit.
Right.
So you got to give each one a little bit of space to grow.
You probably noticed that we left the cookies kind of like rough shaped. Yeah, they're rough looking. And it's okay. Some of them will kind of form into a round shape in the oven as the sugar starts to melt with the butter, but they will be not uniformed, I guess. But in the second tray, we're gonna form them a little bit rounder so you guys can see the difference and you can choose whatever you like.
So in today's cookie class, we're going to make fancy cookies.
So you just kind of roll them into a bowl and press it down a little bit, not too much. Again, you don't want it too thin.
No, you want to leave it thick.
So we have a tray and a half.
Tonight, 2021. I said 1 to 2 dozen. Some cookies are this big. A soup spoon size.
And that's it. It's just that simple.
We're going to put these into our oven for 10 minutes and then give a quick check. Some ovens you'll need to spin the tray. Some ovens you'll want to trade top to bottom rack. We'll see how evenly your oven cooks. A small variation to upgrade to an adult cookie. We're keeping these simple today because we have kids in mind.
Right.
But if you add 2 tablespoons of ground espresso to your dry ingredients, takes this cookie to a whole nother level.
Right. Which would be a fun experiment with the kids.
Not mine, party people. Smells so good. It's been 10 minutes.
All right, let's see.
We're gonna do a little more time. Oh, they're almost there. Another 2-3 minutes, I would say. Whoa.
Look at those artistic cookies.
Been another 3 minutes. They look beautiful. Oh yeah, look at that.
This feels soft, but they are soft because they are warm. And as soon as they cool down,
They will continue to cook out of the oven.
and they will harden as they cool down.
Absolutely.
Don't try to get your cookies hard out of the oven because that's just gonna make them burned and dry. Look at these special looking cookies.
They look gorgeous. They're so homemade, rustic, and this is a 5-star restaurant. Perfection.
That was easy.
And they're so yummy.
They're so yummy. There are only 5 of the good looking cookies here because we ate one. They're still a little hot, but that coffee spice blend in these cookies, it works really well.
It does, it does.
And it's fairly subtle. We put, what, 3 teaspoons?
Yeah.
Those 4 spices are fairly dominant spices, so you don't want to add too much of it.
Oh, I want a cup of coffee now.
I know.
Mine are
Yum.
so much better.
You can find this coffee blend in our spice shop, shop.youdon'thavetobeachef.com. We'd love to hear what you think.
Cookie Monster.